We got some more real life drama. These are your stories. If you want to submit your story, the link is in every video down below in the description. If it's full, let me know, you guys, and I will expand the form. But there should be some room there right now. The first story is coming in from Todd. I got revenge on my cheating girlfriend by doing a fake marriage proposal. I know you may think I'm cruel and heartless, but you'll understand my thinking once you hear the full story. I'll provide background to build up to the holy grail of revenge. I, 34 male, was in a relationship with my then girlfriend, Elda, 33 female. The timeline of this whole situation took place over the course of 4 years, from 2017 to 2021. Elda and I were your normal happy couple who were in love and had a bright future together. I met Elda on a business trip that I was on. I'm an assistant manager for an environmental agency, and I routinely travel around the country to speak at conferences about climate change and environmental issues. We were traveling to North Dakota, and I met Elda at a local bar I went to during happy hour. That sounds like a scene in a rom-com movie, you know, when traveling for work, stop at a local bar, I look across and I see the love of my life. Me and my coworkers were just out having drinks, and they pointed out this cute girl, Elda, checking me out. I was hesitant at first because we were on vacation, and I'm not that kind of guy who picks up women at bars. But after some convincing, I made my move, and that is how our relationship blossomed. We started out long distance dating until I moved to North Dakota to live with her, and everything felt perfect. Little did I know I was in for a major heartbreak. In 2024, our 3-year anniversary was coming up in a few months, and I had just bought an engagement ring because I was going to ask Elda to marry me on our anniversary. Her family and friends all knew I was planning on asking, and even she hinted at knowing. I then got word from a coworker, Miguel, that Elda went out on a date with him and they kissed. Miguel, what are you doing? Also Elda. FYI, Miguel is one of those coworkers you don't really interact with, so we knew very little about each other, okay? Miguel showed me his dating profile, and he showed me a series of messages that apparently Elda had sent him. Elda created a dating profile behind my back and was having an affair with Miguel. Again, Miguel didn't know Elda was my girlfriend. Okay, I retract my anger towards him. I thought he knew. Again, Miguel didn't know Elda was my girlfriend, and he brought it up as soon as he found out from another coworker. As you can expect, I was shocked and very upset at this whole situation. I wasn't mad at Miguel. I thanked him for showing me and that I needed to take some time off work to deal with this whole mess. I'm not the kind of guy who cries and begs for them to come back to me. I wanted to get back at Elda for what she did because I have been cheated on in the past, and I didn't do anything because I was a teenager at the time. I was not going to let that happen this time. With our anniversary coming up in a few days, I called my best friend, Steven, who's the head chef at a Michelin 5-star restaurant, and I told him what happened. I asked if he could help me get revenge, and he was all in. For context, Elda and I would occasionally have a date night there, and I had planned on proposing there. I asked Steven if he could pull some strings, and he agreed. By the way, I was laying low throughout this whole thing, so Elda had no idea what was happening. It's now our anniversary, and I was ready to give Elda a taste of her own medicine. Since I had already purchased the ring, which I spent $5 grand on, I figured I might as well get my money's worth. That evening, we're at the restaurant eating dinner, and I was just acting as if things were normal until Steven came over and asked if we wanted dessert, to which I said yes. I told Elda I had a surprise for her, and she was all excited. Oh boy, not me getting excited, thinking you guys are gonna get engaged, Josh. And this is fake. I got down on one knee and I proposed. Elda was happy and everyone around us was cheering for us, and I asked Steven to bring out some cake. As I requested, I had Steven make a customized cake for Elda. He brought it to our table, and on top of it, it said, "Just kidding." What does it say? Just kidding. Why'd I read it like that? Just kidding, you cheater. It's over. Then I slipped the ring off her finger and walked out. Elda followed me outside and was screaming and demanding me to give back the ring, but I refused. I don't marry cheaters, I told her. I told her who Miguel was and that this was planned all along. She just stood there with her mouth open and speechless. Then I got in my truck and drove back to our apartment where I packed my bags and I left. That was the last time I ever spoke or had seen Elda. Looking back on it, I don't regret doing a thing I did because I enjoyed every second of it. I know some people may think I'm an a-hole for the way I handled it, but I don't. I'd rather be an a-hole and have standards than be a victim of cheating. Cheaters need to be dealt with accordingly, and I got the last laugh. I now have a new girlfriend who's better, and I got my money back that I had spent on the ring. I literally was gonna ask and be like, man, did you get to return that ring and get your $5 grand back? All right, guys, let's be honest in the comments for Todd. Is he the a-hole, or do you think this is justified because of Elda's actions? I want to know. You guys know how I feel about cheaters, so I wish I got revenge in the past. I truly do. I wish I did something petty like that. I really do. I just chose to be the bigger person. Lame. Next story is coming in from Chrissy. Am I the a-hole for not wanting kids? For context, let me explain the situation. I am 30 female and I have been engaged to my fiance, 30 male, for 3 months. He always brings up the topic constantly. While I understand it is important to him, I feel super uneasy about it since he has a lot of trauma from his past. For instance, when he mentions if we were to have a daughter and if she were to become a teen mom, he would kick her out and disown her. We all have our fair share of mistakes. I know he was kicked out at a young age by his mother. I just think he is repeating toxic cycles. Worst part, he likes to boast that he is such a Christian and wants to instill good morals. However, if someone offends him or says something derogatory, he will want to be super combative. He does have a history of mental issues he doesn't want to get fixed since he doesn't believe in getting medication for it. Aside from that, I also have my own health issues. That is another reason why I don't feel comfortable talking about kids. I don't want to make promises on something that may not happen. Initially, I was open to the idea of kids, but it has changed with our arguments and his bad behavior. Am I in the wrong for having doubts about wanting kids with someone like this? Girl, I hate that you're even asking this. You're not an a-hole and you're not wrong for wanting kids or for not wanting kids. Your body, your decision. Honestly, you don't even have to explain yourself. It could simply be, I just don't want to.
No, thank you.
I think you're being smart by really considering such a decision like that. That's a massive decision that changes your life forever. You're weighing out everything. You're not just jumping into that. You're thinking about everything. You're thinking about the person, the trauma, the work that might need to be done. Kudos to you. Absolutely not. You are not an a-hole and you're not wrong. I'm proud of you, to be honest. And I mean that. Next one wants to be left anonymous. Hi Joss, I love your channel. You bring so much positivity. Oh, I do? I thought you were gonna say sass, but I will take positivity. I did want your opinion on this particular matter. I got you. Is it a red flag when your partner accuses you constantly of cheating? I already have my answer. I can't wait for this one. For context, I do believe having opposite sex friends while in a relationship should be boundaries. However, my significant other supposedly has been cheated on in the past. My issue is he will constantly accuse me of cheating to the point where I deleted all my social media platforms just to avoid an argument. Oh, girl, I have been there. Been there. Even if I would post an innocent selfie, I would get accused of seeking other men's attention, which is not true at all. I can say based on his past, I've heard through the grapevine that he has a history of doing this to other exes. It's always the same story, but with a different face. About a month ago, he was complaining about something pertaining to the apartment, and I just snapped. I told him everything is always a problem, whether it's work, your coworkers, or other things. I told him, has it ever occurred to you that you're the problem? I think after that, there haven't been any issues since. It definitely made him reflect. However, do you suggest I stay with him? Ooh, I don't want that responsibility. Ooh, I don't want that. However, if all those patterns and behaviors continue, no, run. Run far and run fast. I have been in that, quite literally that exact same situation. To a T. Social media, this, that, constantly being accused of, why'd you post that? Who you talk? Everything. It was miserable. I did it for over 2 years. I regret staying that long, but hey, that happens to the best of us sometimes. It's not a way to live. Not a fun way to live. If those patterns continue, I would suggest leaving. However, if reflecting can be done, if changes can be made, that's your choice, you know? Cheers. We are hopping on hydration station. Drink your water. Okay? Cheers. The next story is coming in from Samantha. Hey Joss, did I deserve to be ghosted and unfriended? Damn. I met a girl last year at work and we became close and quick friends. She's 18, we will call her Jordan, and I'm 32. It always felt like having a little sister, so it was frustrating at times, and I always gave her lots of advice that she would never follow, but I never expected her to since she was so young. 4 months into being friends, and we both ended up without a job because the business went under, and in the unknowingly last couple of weeks, a man brings in a huge dog that he is trying to get rid of. Jordan's boyfriend, who I am familiar with, is there as well, and we will call him Chris, 21, male. As I'm taking care of customers, I tell Jordan and Chris to please handle the guy with the dog. I can't take in anymore as I have 5 of my own, and I don't want the dog in the shop as she doesn't seem to be listening to anyone. Fast forward about 10 minutes and they both come inside begging me for a solution because this guy says he's just going to have the dog put down if no one will take her. Chris starts begging me, absolutely begging, and I don't want to take the dog, but I'm still struggling with people pleasing and I have a soft spot for animals. So I ask if Chris will get a job and support the dog, meaning he comes over every day to take care of her, and he agrees. And I told him he has to figure something out and I'll only let her stay for up to 6 months, as that should be plenty of time for him and Jordan to save up enough money and move out of their parents' house. I did not clear this with my husband, but when everything was said and done, I explained the situation, and he, although unhappy about it, and understandably so, said that when the 6 months was up, he expected the dog gone, and everyone agreed. I have a feeling I know where this is going. We find out quickly this dog is not kid friendly, even though she came from a home with kids. Red flags everywhere from the very start, but we worked out a situation where she wouldn't be around my kids. Give it about another week or so, and Jordan and Chris go to the lake and pick up another dog, a puppy this time. And I let them bring this one over too because I'm an idiot and can't say no. Also, that soft spot for animals really hits hard when they are clearly malnourished. I would be the same. That caused a fight between my husband and I, but he loves me and told me I needed to stick to the plan, and in 6 months, those dogs needed to be out. This being a conversation that all 4 of us have together so that they are also understanding that they are on the hook for these dogs and the timeline as well for their well-being. Over the course of the next 6 months, it becomes an incredibly frustrating ordeal. I can't afford 2 extra dogs with no income. Jordan isn't looking for a new job, and Chris, although he found one, quit within 2 weeks. The way they are able to pay for dog food is from Jordan lying to her strict parents, who she can't tell about these dogs or that she comes over to my place, about needing money for food or gas. This 18-year-old girl had me believing her parents were the absolute worst and abusive, yet they give her money anytime she asks for it. Chris gets another job eventually, but it doesn't even matter because 3 months into having these dogs, he completely abandons them and leaves them in Jordan's hands. He stops coming over and stops helping her take care of them. It is now solely her responsibility. He won't pay for their food. He spends all of his money the moment he gets paid. It's a crap show, to be sure, and my husband and I are incredibly uncomfortable with the situation, but it's only 3 more months, right? No. It's definitely not. Well, some time comes and it goes, and it's February, the 6-month mark. Jordan finds a new job situation for her and I both. She even has the opportunity to rent a house. She's on the cusp of being able to get these dogs out of my yard. She just needs a little more time. So what do? I give her more time. After all, she just got a job and has a promising opportunity for a house to rent. We go to look at the house and she's trying to pick out every reason why this house isn't going to work for her. And I'm doing my best to convince her that it is. And then she goes, well, my parents aren't going to approve of this. And it's at this moment I knew I messed up. She has made every excuse in the book as to why she can't do a lot of things because her parents, this whole time that I have known her. Some weeks she would skip coming over to feed and water the dog for 3 days, and sometimes those days would be consecutive. Never asking if I could take care of them, just not doing it. I'm not proud to say this, but the big dog did not get along with my dogs. I should have made them get rid of her when she showed aggression towards my oldest child. I should have made her get rid of them when the one dog got in a fight with one of my other dogs. Yes. There were many opportunities where I should have made this stop, including the part where this bigger dog, because of her behavioral issues, was kept in a dog crate in my backyard for so long. Every time I looked out there, my brain was screaming animal abuse, but I was pleading with the 2 people who took on the responsibility to have her to buy her a chain or an actual outside kennel, which finally, after 3 months, they did. And even though I was putting myself at risk, I would go outside and I would feed or water or take this dog out because I could not watch this happen. Now we are at the 6 months mark. I am trying to double down on this agreement and say, hey, I know that you've just now got a job, but Chris has had one for about a month now. Something should have been done already. I think maybe it's time for you guys to talk to your parents or his parents and say, hey, I messed up and I have these dogs, but I'm in this situation where they have nowhere to go. Can we bring them home? Girl, you got yourself into a mess here. She is 18 living at home. She is a child. I don't know how she convinced you that this was going to be a plan. Well, if you've guessed it, that didn't happen, and I ended up letting her extend the time until she could get enough money saved for that rent house, which should be a month tops. Needless to say, that month of February came and went, and by March, she was out of a job again. And I also quit because the owner of the shop had overstepped and been inappropriate and how he treated her, so I quit when she did. March comes and goes, and we both are really depressed about what happened, so I let the whole month slide because I am searching for a new job immediately, and I'm trying to get her to as well. Every time I send her a place to apply, she makes an excuse, why not, or she just doesn't do it. So by the end of February, we are both unemployed again, and by the end of March, I have a new job and she doesn't because she won't put in the work. I'm now fed up with her behavior, but I consider her to be like a sister to me, so I try to guide her in the right direction, though nothing is working. This new job takes such a toll on me mentally and physically that my husband starts to have absolutely no patience for anything or anyone other than focusing on my well-being. He starts telling Jordan and Chris that they need to figure it out, and if Jordan isn't going to have a job, Chris needs to show up and care for the dogs or help out. Well, they say they will get their act together, but they don't. Now we are in the week before Easter, and my husband tells Jordan and Chris it's been enough time. We have been patient with them in many ways, but the dog needs to be gone by Monday. The dogs. That was a plural. Mind you, he sends this text Thursday night or Friday during the day, I don't remember. Jordan texts back a story of how she will try her best to make that happen, but she has too much to do with it being Easter weekend. She has a birthday party for her dad, and she was supposed to visit a friend, which she won't do now since she won't have time because she needs to go get the dogs out of her yard. And she has to go to Chris's parents' house Sunday for Easter dinner. Great. Monday comes and goes and I don't hear anything from her. And since my husband has sent out that text, her boyfriend goes radio silent. We don't hear from him ever again. Saw that coming. But as for Jordan, she messages us every now and then, letting us know that she can't figure it out. There's nobody who will take the dogs. She doesn't know what she's going to do. And I'm sitting there trying not to do anything about it because this is not my responsibility. This is hers. I just feel like you made it your responsibility when you agreed to this though. I get your intentions were good, but oh man, not a good decision. This is hers. I am fully aware that she expects me to clean up her mess and that I'm supposed to get rid of the dogs because in all these text messages, she will say, I completely understand. I know we really stretched y'all thin. We really put a lot on y'all. I feel so bad for this. I'm trying to do everything I can. I don't want to lose our friendship. I understand if you guys have to get rid of them. Whether it be euthanize them or you drop them off somewhere where you find a different home for them, I completely understand. I don't want this to mess up our friendship. It's after Easter now and I am presented with a different job opportunity, so I am transitioning from one job to a new one. I don't have a lot of time to be on my phone as much as I used to, and I've told her this. I said, hey, I just got a lot going on right now and the dog situation is needing to get figured out. So understandably, you're going to feel like I'm alienating you a little bit, but I'm not. Let me get used to this new job and new schedule, and I'll start texting you like we used to. Now, the Friday after Easter has come and gone, and that was the last day the dogs or I ever saw her. She abandoned them. She didn't come over for a full week to feed or water them. Every time she texts me, she just tells me how unwelcome she feels over here, so she doesn't come over. And I text and I tell her it's silly to abandon a couple of dogs just because she thinks she can't come over. Especially because multiple times I've told her I'm not mad at her. I don't hate her and that she's still very much welcome over. She's 18. She's 18. I've done everything I can to clear up any misunderstanding about that. So a week and 2 days into it, she texts and asks, well, can I come over to feed the dogs? And I tell her, well, don't worry about it. I couldn't watch them starve any longer, so I have fed them. Also, my youngest is sick at the moment, so she probably won't want to come over for a couple of days. Those days come and go, and I let her know all is well, and she still doesn't come over. So we get to the point where it has now been 3 weeks since she has come over for the dogs, and in the meantime, she has texted me and asked me how my new job is going and how my kid is feeling and everything. So I am thinking, everything's fine. Well, we absolutely can't do this dog thing anymore. The big dog has become so aggressive that my dogs can't be in the yard with her, even though they don't go near her without her trying to attack them. And I have made this clear that she is too aggressive. It is no longer safe for my entire household for this dog to be here. And unfortunately, because her and the puppy are both not getting the care that they need, it is within their best interest that they are rehomed immediately and again. Again, she gives me a sob story. So my husband and I, within 4 days, come up with somewhere for the dogs to go. And admittedly, I didn't tell Jordan, but at this point, she hasn't even asked or seen them in about 3 weeks. I assume this is just a sensitive subject and that she just wants it to go away, so I do that. Hoping that we can all just move on from this. Well, out of the blue, she texts me about having made a vet appointment for the puppy. What? Mind you, it is now 4 weeks since we have even spoken about the dogs and 4 weeks since she has even been over to my house to see them. And I said, oh crap, I guess we forgot to tell you, we found them a situation just a couple days ago. You said you were okay with it if it came to that, and I assumed you and Chris wanted nothing to do with them. I've had so much going on with this new job and it's been very stressful the last few weeks for everybody. That even though I wasn't worried about telling you immediately, I still meant meant to tell you and I just didn't. And I'm sorry, but at least you don't have to worry about them anymore and they aren't starving. They are being taken care of. She texted back, who did you give them to? I just want to make sure they go to a good home. And I tell her I don't know who they ended up with. We gave them to a coworker of my husband's and they took care of it. They had some in-laws or something, some sort of connection. All that matters is the dogs are in much better hands and no longer being abused. Mind you, I would feed these dogs and send her photos of them being fed when she was not coming over. I am someone who takes friendships very seriously. I don't judge and I am very forgiving, although I don't think Jordan and Chris should ever have any other animal, even if they move out of her parents' house. I was still loyal and dedicated to being a friend. I cared for those dogs when she and he would not. Once the dogs were gone and safe and my mental and physical health had improved and I just got a new job and schedule, I tried texting Jordan like we used to and she gave me short answers and I thought, okay, understandably, she's upset that I had to get rid of the dogs for her. It was affecting me so much that I was having panic attacks so bad. My chest would hurt for days because of the state that they were in, and I couldn't do much for them other than feed them from my own dog food supply, that I still felt bad that she was so sad over having to get rid of these dogs. I feel like the bad guy because of the guilt trip she put me through and then ghosted me. Even though I suffered mentally, physically, the big dog had hurt me while I was tending to her, and financially, not to mention it was straining my relationship with my husband. It caused fights that we both knew didn't need to be happening. So, did I deserve to be ghosted and unfriended? I know I made some mistakes and I definitely wasn't in the right, but with my people pleasing and general trauma with telling people no aside, I tried to handle everything the best I could, knowing that she herself is in a mentally and emotionally abusive relationship. If Chris didn't get what he wanted, I wouldn't see or hear from Jordan. Very much so, that also contributed to where my head was at, letting these dogs stay. Right now, I am feeling that I don't want to help people anymore and I don't want to make any new friends ever again with just how used I feel. I feel like she only hung out with me because she had dogs over here. I've been through a lot in my life, so I always try to be kind and I always try to give people the benefit of the doubt. But this last experience, feeling as used as I do, has left me feeling more bitter than ever. When she ghosted me, I immediately went to your page to listen to your stories because these are things that help me through life, knowing I'm not the only person who messes up and that in the end, everything is okay. And when people walk out of your life, it is best to just let them. And for anybody wondering, I have a good amount of land. My 5 dogs are very healthy and happy. All 5 are inside and outside dogs and all very well behaved. So when I tell you I did everything for the 2 additions to my household that I didn't want and could not support, I believe that you did everything. I really do. I don't think you deserve to be ghosted and unfriended. And I think you should keep reminding yourself that she was 18. I don't think she even knows the weight and the responsibility that you took on. I don't think she'll fully understand that because she's only 18 and still lives at home. I don't think she'll see it in the same way. You had great intentions. You were trying to help. You cared for the animals. You tried your best. It's a shame, but I think we just learn our lessons and we move on. That's sad. I feel bad. Very sad for the dogs, and I know losing a friend is hard. So I'm happy you feel safe on this page. You have a friend in us in the comment section. Wow. Oh my God, look how long my hair is. I could almost tie it up here. Wow. I'm gonna keep growing my hair so that I can do that. We'll report back. Stay tuned. I'll see you guys in the comment section. Stay classy out there. Stay sassy.